November 2022. North Korea rolls out the Hwasong-17 intercontinental ballistic missile. It's a massive weapon, capable of striking the U.S. mainland. On paper, this was a standard display of the regime's expanding nuclear reach. But the international community focused on a different detail: the unknown 10-year-old girl standing at Kim Jong-un's side, holding his hand as they inspected the launch. The Kim family has historically been obsessive about privacy. Kim Jong-un was kept entirely out of the public eye until he was 26 years old. Suddenly, a child is being featured on state television. In a system where every image is vetted by the propaganda and agitation department, these appearances represent the first steps toward institutionalizing a new line of succession. This timeline is likely being driven by Kim Jong-un's health. He is significantly overweight, a heavy smoker, and comes from a family with a history of fatal heart attacks in their 40s and 50s. While intelligence reports once suggested a firstborn son, no public evidence of him exists. If Ju-ae is the sole heir, the regime must solve a difficult puzzle: how to ensure a male-dominated military establishment accepts the authority of a young girl. To bridge that gap, the state media has begun a massive effort to build a new mythology around her, attempting to lock in her status long before a potential power vacuum can open. The state's image makers have carefully chosen her environment. Ju-ae is almost never shown at playgrounds. Instead, she is consistently placed in military settings, observing missile tests and dining with high-ranking generals. Her wardrobe reflects this transition. She has moved away from the white puffer coat she wore at her debut, adopting a more severe and mature look designed to project authority. During an Air Force inspection, father and daughter appeared in matching sunglasses and long black leather trench coats. Within the elite, this leather aesthetic is highly restricted, a visual signal of status reserved for top military echelons and the leader himself. By adopting her father's specific aesthetic, Ju-ae is being visually linked to the country's nuclear program, signaling that she is the future guardian of the regime's military legacy. This visual rebranding has been accompanied by a shift in language. State media initially referred to her as the beloved child, but soon upgraded her title to the respected daughter. The most significant change occurred recently, when state outlets began using terms like Great Person of Guidance and Morning Star General to describe the girl. Morning Star General is a title with deep roots in the Kim family cult. It was used to describe Kim Il-sung's early years, and it was the same title used to signal Kim Jong-un's rise as the successor before his father's death. In the North Korean political system, these specific titles function as a formal declaration. Their use confirms that Ju-ae has been internally designated as the next leader. The regime has also leaned heavily on traditional symbols of power, specifically introducing a white horse for Ju-ae to ride during military parades. In North Korean mythology, the white horse is the symbol of the Paek-tu bloodline. It is used to establish the divine, hereditary right of the Kim family to rule the country. The submission of the old guard is visible in state footage, showing the country's highest-ranking military marshals kneeling and saluting the 12-year-old girl. These public displays of deference suggest the regime's myth-building is achieving its goal, forcing the patriarchal military establishment to acknowledge her as the future heir. The biological timeline puts the dynasty at a crossroads. If Kim Jong-un's health fails before Ju-ae reaches adulthood, the regime faces a potential power vacuum between the young heir and her aunt, Kim Yo-jong. She already holds significant institutional power. She controls the state's propaganda machine and maintains massive influence over the military and party leadership. The Kim family history is marked by internal purges and the elimination of rivals. Kim Jong-un himself consolidated power by executing his uncle and was linked to the assassination of his half-brother in a foreign airport. By embedding Ju-ae directly into military life now, the regime is establishing a public record of her authority, a mandate that would be significantly harder for any family rival to challenge in the future. Despite the country's deep-seated patriarchal traditions, the North Korean state is now systematically preparing for a transition to its first female leader. The leather coats, the white horses, and the kneeling generals are all components of a long-term plan to ensure the transition of power remains within the direct family line. The image of a child inspecting long-range missiles may be jarring, but the message is clear. The North Korean nuclear program is being positioned as a generational inheritance, intended to stay within the Kim dynasty for a fourth generation.